Hi friends, welcome to today's video. This one is going to be so exciting. I'm very pumped for this one. e.l.f. has launched some new products. They've expanded their Finest Fleck eyeshadow formula, so we have 4 new shades to play with. They also launched a brand new formula, the Glitzshow eyeshadow sticks that are a foiled metallic finish. Stop, right? I bought all 6 shades. You know I had to do it. I had to review it. I had to bring you the goods, and I got to show you the swatches. I'm going to do 2 looks. That's right. It's a 2 for today. You're going to get this eye look that I'm wearing right now using the Glitzshow eyeshadow sticks. And then I'm going to insert another tutorial doing a look with the new addition to the Finest Fleck. So you're going to get 2 eye looks in one video. I haven't done one of these types of videos in a long time, combining 2 looks into one. I am here for it. Let's go ahead and start with the swatches, and then we'll get into the tutorial afterwards. I cannot wait. Just you wait. These are just to die for. Let's start off with the Glitzshow eyeshadow sticks. There are 6 in total. They're $8 a piece. This is supposed to give you a rich metallic shimmer foiled look to the lids. They're creamy, they're blendable, they're supposed to wear for a long time, and they just give you such an intense payoff. They're absolutely beautiful. So I have the 6 shades. I'm going to start with the lightest one. And I'm going to show you swatches on the back of my hand. The first shade is called Prismaddict. Yeah. Such a beautiful, foiled, intense. It looks wet. It feels creamy, cooling, almost watery. It has a nice kind of rounded dome shape to it, so it easily applies to your lids, the inner corner. I'm going to show you a look using some of these today. Absolutely divine. The next shade is going to be Royal Foil, and this one is so pretty. So this is Royal Foil. I'm gonna do a pretty wide swatch so you guys can see. It's like an antiqued bronze kind of look with a little hint of gold to it. Do you see that? Stop, right? I told you, you're gonna wanna sit down for this one. The next one is called Glimmercore. This one is a little bit more of a coppery, a little bit more of an orangey kind of look to it. Look at that. They're so creamy. So you don't want to twist this up too much, by the way, because if you do, I can see this getting kind of messy. It's a very soft, creamy formula, but it is so beautiful. The payoff is insane. Then we have Hot Glam Cute. This one is a little bit more of a fiery copper, more orangey shade. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Okay. 2 more. Let's go in with the purple shade called Lavish Affair. So pretty. That's what it looks like there in the tube. And then I like the metallic color coordinator on the outside so you can see what you're getting yourself into when you pull from your drawer. Oh, stop right now. I am so pumped about that one. I have to create a look with that, definitely. And the last shade is called So Gleamy. This one is going to be a little bit more of an icy shade, a little bit of a lavender, almost kind of like a bluish. Look how beautiful that looks. These 2 together, this in the inner corner faded into this on the lid, would be absolutely stunning. And those are all of the shades of this new range. Oh my goodness. You might as well just pick up a couple shades. Like, it's hard to narrow down which is my absolute favorite. I love these colors. e.l.f. more shades, please. Also, one thing to note, they do come with a clear sub cap. When you first take your cap off, you will see that. Keep that, don't throw that away, because that's gonna help keep this product from drying out, and that is genius. I wish that every brand that gave us a creamy, metallic, even if it's matte, shadow stick, a sub cap to keep it from drying out, makes a world of difference. And you'd be surprised, that small little detail really keeps this fresh longer. And I love that they've given us that for $8. Stop, right? I can't. I'm so thrilled and happy that they've launched these. It's a different type of product for them, but I'm here for it. I love it. I'm excited about it. I like how they have that sort of metallic look. They're creamy. They feel quite cooling on the lids. When you blend some of these out, you see more sparkle to them, like the purple shade. Let me just show you what that would look like if you took it and blended this out. I will say that they do set pretty quickly and they don't move around. So once you apply it, you want to move it with your finger or a brush quickly, and then you'll be okay. But it takes a little bit more work once it starts to dry to move it around. But that gives you an idea. If you were to kind of spread that out a little bit, you can really see the sparkle in that. It's so beautiful. I've got the 4 Finest Fleck glitter shadows, so it's a shade extension. Let's swatch these. So the Finest Fleck range is $7 a piece. There's 4 new shades, whereas the eyeshadow sticks are $8. Still super affordable and incredible price point for these. I like this formula, the Finest Fleck. I have several of the first launch that came out several months back, and I do enjoy those. Some of them had more pigment in that first range, that first batch of color. Some had more intense payoff, and then some were more light, more topper-like formulas. Let's start with the lightest shade, and this is called Certified Platinum. This one is the iciest one, the one that looks a little bit more on silver. I love the component of that clear packaging with the e.l.f. logo on top. I feel like it's just much more elevated for the brand. So that is Certified Platinum, and you see it gives kind of like a wet look, but it's super soft. It's not hard, it's not gritty. It's very, very easy to use. The next shade is called So Metal. Very pretty. I'm gonna swatch this one. This one's gonna have just a little bit more pigment to the base, whereas this one you can see it's much more of a kind of scattered light effect with the glitter. This one has a little bit more of an icy kind of taupey gray undertone. Next is Tan-talize. Really pretty shade. I love colors like this that are kind of bronzy. This one has a little hint of warmth to it, but this one has a little bit more of a pigmented base, still with a little bit of sparkle, not as sparkly as that Certified Platinum, the first shade, but still a little bit of sparkle, and it has a little bit of a kind of warm, almost coppery tone to it, but still quite bronzy and pretty. The last shade is called Hypebiscus, and that's really, really cute. I like how it has almost like a duochrome quality. It looks kind of pink, but then when you turn it, it looks kind of copper with a more golden sparkle, and it's super, super pretty. So this one has a little bit more warmth to it. Just a hint of like a reddish copper. Do you see that, how pretty that is? Those are the 4 new shades. And if you're wondering, are any of these close to some of the original colors, I will kind of look through that really quickly. The lightest shade in the new edition, the Certified Platinum, is quite silver in comparison to, let's say, White Hot from the first launch. So this is White Hot, which is kind of like an icy silver with a hint more champagne, and you can see that this one is just much more cooler. This is the new one, and then this is from the first range called White Hot. This is one of my favorites. Right underneath is going to be the White Hot. So the White Hot has just a little bit more of an icy vibe to it, just because I feel like the base just has a hint more color to it. It's still very topper-like with both of these. There's not gonna be a lot of pigment to the base of it. So you can see that the 4 new shades, there aren't anything overlapping that was already pre-existing. So I hope that comparison is helpful. Now let's go ahead and get into the first eye look using the Glitz Shadow Sticks to give you the look that I'm wearing right now. And then afterwards, we'll plug in the look using the new Finest Fleck. Let's build the base of this eye look, and I'm going to use one of my favorite super affordable eyeshadow palettes from e.l.f. It's one of the bite-sized palettes. These are absolutely incredible. The pigmentation, the blend on these is absolutely mind-blowing. How they can give us such great quality for the price point. This one in particular is going to have just the basic colors. It's going to be all matte, which I think is super helpful for creating a base with the glitters that we're going to be using today. So I always like to use more kind of neutral tones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start building my crease just ever so slightly. I don't want to go overboard. I have prepped my lids with the Makeup by Mario cream shadow in the color called Sandstone. It's a soft matte look. I've applied that all over my lids, all the way up through the crease towards the brow bone. It does prevent creasing on me, so that's what I've been using as primer lately. So now we get to go in with the eyeshadow palette. So I'm going to take this third shade here on a big fluffy crease brush. This is the BK Beauty 212 brush. I'm going to go back and forth and apply some of this to the crease area. Again, I just want to create some definition to make this glitter more cohesive, make it a full look. You don't have to do this, but I always like putting something through the crease area. If you don't want to use eyeshadow, use bronzer. If you wear bronzer already, take that same bronzer and run it through the crease and you'll be perfectly fine. It does the exact same thing. Do the same thing on this other side. So now we're going to go back into that quad, take that same eyeshadow, and I'm going to run this underneath the lower lashes ever so slightly. And now for the star of the show, the Glitzshow Shadow Sticks. What a mouthful, but these are brand new. As I said at the start of the video, I bought all the shades because I wanted to show you all the swatches, and I personally wanted to try this. This is a new formula for e.l.f. It is supposed to be like a shadow stick with glitter, and the colors are beautiful. So of course I can't wear all 6 shades today, so we're just gonna choose one to create a look, and I will definitely be using some of those other shades, of course, in future looks. And if you wanna see a specific shade, please let me know in the comments and I will do my best to create a look around that color. So I think what's best with the sort of neutral tones that I've got going on right now is some of the lighter shades. So I'm thinking Prismaddict or maybe Royal Foil might work. That one is gonna be, the Royal Foil is gonna be a little bit more gold. And keep in mind with the subcap, I may have mentioned this already at the start, you want to keep that so that it doesn't dry out. And let me show you the 2 options that I'm going between. This is Royal Foil, so pretty. It's kind of like an antique bronze, I love. And then the Prismaddict is probably the one that's the easiest to make work with pretty much any color in the crease, but wow. So I'm going to start with the Royal Foil. And I'm gonna put that onto my lids. I'm going to leave the innermost corner bare so that I can add some of the lighter shades. So basically from here on outwards, I'm gonna take that and run that right on to my lids. And with cream shadows, I always like to use my fingers to move this around before it sets. This is already kind of set. It does set incredibly fast, so you have to work quickly. Does add quite a bit of a metallic finish to the eye, but you can see that golden sparkle, really pretty. And I think it's nice, very, very nice. So now let's go in with the Prismatic, which is the lighter of the 2, and I'm gonna use that in the innermost corner and kind of fade it into the color that I just applied. And this is going to give a nice pop in the innermost corner. Again, you want to work quickly and then just kind of blend that right in to that bronzy shade. Add a little bit more. And I'm going to work a lot faster this time. And then for Prismatic, in the innermost corner. So this is where we're at right now with those 2 shades on the lid. I do want to add just a little bit more smokiness to the lower lashes just to make this a little bit more of a smoky look. So I'm going to go back into that palette and I'm going to take the darkest shade and I'm going to use a 204 brush from BK Beauty. And I always use this brush. It's the perfect brush. If you don't have this brush, it is great for smudging dark colors on the lower lashes. So what I'm going to do is just rock this back and forth really close to the root of my lashes. Then back into that 212 brush with that first color that we put through the crease. I'm going to use a little bit of that to blend that dark shade out just a little bit and just make it a little bit thicker under here, but that's just because that's my preference. That's optional. You don't have to do this step. And that's the eye look for today. Now all I have to do is a little bit of eyeliner, which is optional. You can do pencil, you can do liquid, skip the liner, put some lashes on, just mascara, and I really like the way this sparkles. It is so, so pretty. And here is the completed eye look with these new Glitzshow shadow sticks. I really do enjoy how these came out. It's giving me color, but it's also giving me that pizzazz that I always love using glitters, and it's all kind of fused into one. You've got that metallic color, you've got that sparkle. It's easy to work with. They do set pretty quickly, as I mentioned already, but the end result is incredibly beautiful and they're so affordable. I mean, what more could you ask for except for more shades, right? And since today's video is a twofer, we're gonna get 2 looks in today's video. I decided to combine the 2 new launches into one just so that you can get all the information that you need. They launched the 4 new shades of the Finest Fleck range, which I have been a fan of. I have the others from this range and I have loved them so much. And I actually do use those more than I thought I would. I love the glitter. These 4 new shades, I'm gonna show you a look using the colors. I obviously may not be able to pull off all 4 shades in one look, but it'll give you an idea of what you can do if you decide to purchase these. So let me show you look number 2. My eyelids have been prepped with the same prep that I did for the first look. That's the cream liquid shadow from Makeup by Mario in the shade called Sandstone. That matches very closely to my skin tone. I applied that all over my lids all the way up to the brow bone. For today's crease work, I'm going to go into a new palette. This is the Revolution Master Icon. And this may look quite similar, giving some, dare I say, Patrick Ta vibes with the look of the mattes with the two creams. Let's go into this light shade here, right next to the white. I'm going to use a big fluffy crease brush. This is a bit of a kind of cooler color. That's going to be my transition. I'm going to start by applying that into my crease, just going back and forth. But because today I'm going to go for a little bit of a warmer look as opposed to what I did for the first look, I am going to bring in a little bit more of the warmer tones from this palette. Keeping with that same brush, I'm now going to go up to the top row. I do have it upside down, so the bottom row is going to be the cooler tones, and then that top row is going to be the warm tones. So for the warm tones, I'm going to go into this shade right here. This color right here is just a little bit warmer and going to give me much more intensity, as you will see. And the brush that I'm using is the A503. It comes from the BK Beauty Angie Hot and Flashy collab. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to first place the color with the most intensity out here. I'm going to go back in and grab just a little bit more. This is a very pigmented palette so far. So I'm just going to kind of place it. And then I'm going to start going in circular motions to blend, and then the windshield wiper motion to bring it into my crease. And I'm just going to continue blending this out, and that's going to be pretty much where I'm going to stop with color on the crease and outer V area. I'm going to add a little bit of color to the lower lashes. I'm going to switch to a BK Beauty 207 brush, and I'm going to start with that first more cool tone shade just to create a little bit of dimension under the eye. And I'm not being too careful and precise. This doesn't have to be a perfect blended look because we're going to cover a lot of this anyways with the glitter, but you just want a little bit of color just to bring some dimension and shape back to the eye. And then I'm going to take that same brush, go into that same sort of warmer tone that I used in the outer V area of the upper lids. I'm going to take that and run that as well on the bottom, just so that everything matches. And now for the star of the show, the glitter. Let's add some pizzazz. Let's add something sparkling pretty. I'm going to pull one shade of the new Finest Fleck editions. There was 4 colors, and the one that I'm going to use today is called Hypebiscus. And this is the one that has a little bit of a kind of reddish copper kind of flip to it. It's really pretty. It looks kind of pinkish red in some lights, a little bit more golden. It's very, very pretty, and that's what that looks like. Of course, I already showed you the swatches, but it doesn't hurt to show it again, right? So I'm going to use my finger, and I'm going to just apply this directly onto my lids from inner corner to outer corner. And immediate yes on this color. You can see the pink glitter when the light catches. And then I'm going to just kind of blend the edge of that glitter up towards the crease. I don't want to put glitter there, but I want it to be kind of faded. So the most intensity is at the base, and it kind of fades out to nothing as it moves towards the brow bone. And that is absolutely beautiful. So from here, all I have to do is put liner and mascara, and then I will show you the completed eye look. And here is the completed look number 2. I used my Kosas gel liner in Allure. And then I use the new L'Oreal Extensionist mascara, 2 coats on the top and a little extra on the bottom just because I was in the mood. And you can see how pretty that glitter catches the light. What are your thoughts? So tell me in the comments which look was your favorite. The one that I'm wearing right now with the Glitzshow shadow sticks, or did you like the look that I used, the Finest Fleck? I love the formulas of both of them. So far I've enjoyed using these new formulas, so it's really cool for them to create something different. And then I also do enjoy that they've expanded the range of the Finest Fleck. Of course, with more time, we might see more colors come out with the Finest Fleck range, more shades in this new range. This is very cool, very different. And this is the finished look today. If you want to know everything else that I'm wearing, I'm going to link to everything else. But I do want to call out the lip combo because it is just absolutely stunning. It's a $20 lip combo that just is chef's kiss. So the first thing I did was I took the Line Leader lip liner from Maybelline. This is the lifter liners that came out last summer. These are incredible. If you haven't tried it, you definitely need to pick up a shade. So I have the Line Leader, which is my absolute favorite out of the entire range. And then I topped it with one of the new Plumping Lip Oils from e.l.f. If you have not seen my review on this, check it out. So the shade that I have is called Apricot Feelings, and it gives me just a little bit of a kind of peachy tint, not much. It's kind of more of a clearish base to it, but it's very sparkly and pretty, and I feel like it adds to the sparkle. And I like kind of like a peachy tone with like an antique bronze look. I feel like those two shades go really well. So that's the shade. You see, it's kind of barely a tint. It's more of a sparkle that is slightly more on the warm side, but paired over the Line Leader, it is just, like I said, chef's kiss. I love this plumping formula. You do feel that kind of mint feeling and that cooling sensation on the lips, which is very nice. And it's not painful by any means. At least to me, it's not. So I do enjoy these. So check out the review on that. I will link for it in the cards. And I will also link to the shade in the description box. And that is the entire look for today. I hope that you enjoyed this 2-in-1 type of video. I am so excited to try new products from e.l.f. Every time they launch something, I always do my best to get a few shades. In this case, I actually bought every shade in both of the new launches, so I can give you the best review. I'm going to link to everything down below. As I said, thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts of these new products. Have you tried them? Have you purchased them? What shades did you buy? Thanks for spending some of your day here with me. Take care, you guys. I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.